Responsibilities of a company secretary for Hong Kong Limited. Welcome to Global from Asia number 105.
Welcome to the Global from Asia podcast, where the daunting process of running an international business from Hong Kong is broken down into straight-up, actionable advice. And now, your host, Michael Michelini.
Happy Tuesday morning, everybody. Today, when the show is going live, I'm going to be running around frantically to get prepared for our new Hong Kong company office party that evening. And I'm sure it's going to go smooth, but the last week I've gotten a lot of signups and questions about the format of the show. Just like everything in life, I believe it's, listen and learn and collect data. So we're going to keep it simple. Going to have a recording in front of a live audience, and it's going to be a fun one. So keep posted how it goes if you weren't able to make it, and if you want to catch future events, go to globalfromasia.com/events. I spent almost 4 full days in Hong Kong last week, and I have been meeting more listeners in person. A couple I want to highlight are Sean Cunningham and Doug Miller. Both took the time out of their days to meet me, had coffee or visits up to the office, and I got a couple of fun photos with them. I'm going to keep the show notes interesting and share those also if you want to check them out, as well as all the show notes and links at globalfromasia.com/episode 105. And I'm just liking this so much, just going to meet more and more people that are liking the show. And I have a cool review on iTunes finally, so I will read it off at the end of the interview, and also some other cool stories from the week in Hong Kong. Okay, enough of that. Now it's time for this week's show. We have with us again Fion Sen from Bridges Executive Center. And a common question I'm getting a lot is, what is the actual responsibilities of a company secretary for opening a company and ongoing, the costs, the roles, the expectations, and there is some confusion of what secretary can and cannot do. So Fion is grateful to come on and share with us. So let's hand it over to Fion. Okay, thank you everybody for tuning in to another Global from Asia podcast. We are back here with my friend Fion Sen from Bridges Executive Center. So thank you for being here, Fion.
Hi, everybody. This is Fion from Bridges Executive Center. I think I've been in this podcast before, and I think some of the audience has been listening to this podcast channel before, and I come back again today.
So, sure. So maybe just talk quickly about Bridges for the new people listening.
I'm Fion Sen from Bridges Executive Center. Bridges is a Hong Kong company, Hong Kong-based company. We are focused and professional in all kinds of corporate service, including the company formations, company maintenance, accounting, auditing arrangement, payroll, working visa, and even we have a rental service in central of Hong Kong.
Yeah, we're here today. It's always an amazing, and it's busy too, right? We're talking before recording. There's different trade shows in October, and it's always a busy season, especially even towards the end of the year. We'll be busy too, right? So.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, I think maybe after summertime, and now they are very active in planning to set up their company, maintain their company, or how to grow their company before the Christmas as well. So this time is a very busy time for us in October and November.
Okay, great. So, we've done quite a few topics together, and you've always shared a lot very openly. We always appreciate that. So today we've kind of talked about this a little bit before, but, company maintenance, upkeep, but maybe a little bit more specifically for the role of the company secretary. So you have a good blog post on your site too that we'll also link to those that want to read it. But we'll go through some of the topics. But first, I think maybe what is a company secretary, and then specifically for a Hong Kong company?
Actually, a lot of people is planning to set up the company in Hong Kong or already have the company in Hong Kong. Having the company in Hong Kong, I think is quite simple, easy, straightforward. It's quite fast. You can have the company formations, but how to upkeep the company and maintain the company may not be easy to do it. So there's a lot of people would find interest to understand. And also one thing is when you set up the Hong Kong company, it's different from the offshore company. Hong Kong company mandatory requirement is you must have one director one shareholder, and one company secretary. This is the mandatory requirement. And the company secretary must be someone who are very familiar with the Hong Kong company registry requirement. And the company secretary need to help the company deal with all the day-to-day matter with the company registry department to help you maintain the company's secretarial record. And also, throughout the whole year, that may have chance, the company would like to update the director information, shareholder information, or shareholder structure, or maybe you want to add one more shareholder to join you, or even some of the client, they would like to update their registered office address. This kind of information could all leave it to the company secretary to help you out, to maintain it, to do it, because most of the business owner, they will focus on their own business, but they may not familiar with the Hong Kong rule, so company secretary will help you out. Also, one more thing would like to remind of you is very important. Every year, the Hong Kong government will require you to file the annual return. Annual return is something different from the audit report. Annual return is something that you need to update the government, who is the director, who is the current shareholder, and also your address, all this basic information. So every year during the anniversary day, you have to file this record, prepare this record. So most of the people don't know how to do it, and you may miss it as well. So the company secretary in Hong Kong will remind you, prepare this for you to avoid, you may have some penalty from the Hong Kong government as well.
Got it. Yeah, I don't know if you want to share some of the stories we were just talking about before. So it's very important to pay attention to, notices from the government and filing the government fees. I think also, I always think of secretary. I think back to when I was in school and there's like the president, the vice president, the treasurer, and the secretary. But actually, the secretary can't be from the company, right? It has to be maybe I think some people might think that they can do it themselves.
Actually, a lot of people, the secretary, this term may be someone sitting next to you, helping you to take notes, take minutes, or help you to book the air tickets, make the meeting room. Of course, we Bridges, we provide this kind of service as well. But what we are talking about, the company secretary is who has been well trained up. They understand the Hong Kong company registration, the law, and also the company registry requirement, which is something totally different from the general secretary. Company secretary must be someone who are the professional on this. And company secretary who need to help you to maintain all the company registry secretarial record. And this person must be, because the company said for the Hong Kong company, the mandatory requirement is one director, one shareholder, and one company secretary. And this company secretary must be someone who has the Hong Kong resident card. So if you do not have the Hong Kong resident card, you are not able to be the company secretary. Or else the company secretary could be a company. But this company must be a registered Hong Kong company with the registered address in Hong Kong as well. Because Hong Kong government want to make sure the company secretary who familiar with the company registry requirement. That's why there is such requirement. So some of the Hong Kong people, they may be added as the company secretary as well. But for the foreign people, if they do not have the Hong Kong resident card, they can't do it. And then another thing is, if you are the solo director and shareholder, you are not able to add as the company secretary as well. This is they need to separate it. So I will suggest it's much better to find a professional firm to help you out to add on as the company secretary role.
Great. And so this is not, you do this when you file the company, right? When you register the company, but also every year you need to return. Mm-hmm. And then also if there's a secretary, there's a charge for the secretary.
Talking about the service charges to have the company maintenance. Yeah. Or maybe let us talking about for the Hong Kong company, if you want to upkeep the company maintenance fees. Basically, company secretarial fee is one of the mandatory fees that you need to pay for it. So in the Hong Kong market, in averagely, the price will be around 2,500 is the average price for the annual fees. This is the fees you pay for the company secretary. And also beside that, if you want to upkeep the company, you need to pay for the business registration license fee. This is the government fees. The price for this year is $2,250. And then we just come across something called annual return. That will have the government fees. That is $105. So on top of that, in case you do not have the address in Hong Kong, because one of the requirements is you need to have the registered office address in Hong Kong. If you have it, it's okay. You can use your own address. If not, then you need to pay for this kind of Hong Kong registered office address fees, which is around few thousand Hong Kong dollar as well. So basically, I would say for the whole package to maintain the Hong Kong company will be below 10,000 Hong Kong dollars. On top of that, in additional, some of the company, if they have business transaction, they may opt for accounting and auditing arrangement, that kind of maintenance fees as well. Yeah, that is for the company secretary fees, office address fees, accounting, auditing fees. So you may need to consider about that.
Got it. Very clear. Thank you. So then there is the annual return. So is that something that's basically who's the owner of the company each year and just making sure everything is correct? Or
yeah, I found out a lot of clients maybe doing this kind of annual return. As said, government will not remind you. They will just remind you to file the tax return, this kind of things, but they will not remind you to file the annual return. Annual return is report to the company registry. Okay, a lot of people always come to me to say, profit tax return, is this profit tax return, which is different. Profit tax return is report to Inland Revenue Department, the tax department, which is different. So talking about the annual return, which is around 8 pages document, so in which will confirm your company name, trading name, and also confirm your current registered office address, who is the director, shareholder, and a lot of our foreign clients, they always have their passport update. The passport number may be different. Then we will help them to update these informations to the government, and also your update company secretarial informations, and also the shareholding structure as well. So this kind of things will be updated in the annual return. Okay. And also, I just remember we're talking about is that 2,500 annual fees will cover everything. So that is just will cover the annual fees appointed as the company secretary. But however, in case the clients would require to update the director or shareholder information, maybe you add one more shareholder or remove the shareholder, that may incur additional a bit of service charges to prepare all the relevant document. And also, if you change the shareholder, if your business has been in operate, then there will have some stamp duty fees from the Hong Kong government as well, because they need to base on your update audit report to review, and then government office will calculate on the stamp duty fees as well. So this cost you may need to bear in mind in your budget planning as well.
yeah, I think it's always good for them. I think everybody appreciates knowing upfront what the different costs will be, and it's helpful. Thank you. And we're talking about there's also employers return, profit tax return. I think if they have staff, well, the employer's return everybody needs to fill out, right? Even if they don't have staff, because I think that's something people.
So, beside the company secretary, I think most of the people, they always ask, will the company secretary also help them out for all the tax-related matter? So, just want to let everybody know that company secretary is to deal with the company registry as said. But just like our company, we have another professional team, which is from the accounting and the tax team. They will deal with the Inland Revenue Department. Okay, so when you upkeep the company, you need to make sure that besides filing the annual return, you need to file a lot of different kind of tax return, including the company profit tax return. No matter you have profit or not, you need to file the profit tax return. And then if you have staff, or maybe even you are the owner, you have issued the director fees or the salary, you need to file the employer's return. And also the same, no matter you have staff or not, you need to file the employer's return. This is something that I think around 30% of the client, they will miss it, and they will always think that I do not have staff, I do not need to file the employer's return, why I need to report to the government. But if you don't report to the government, how government will know that? Then they will have penalty to you if you don't tell them whether you have staff or not. So you need to file the profit tax return, employer's return, and also the personal tax return. These three are the most common tax return you need to report to the government every year, which is the mandatory requirement. So I think when you run the company, you need to find a company which can help you out to maintain all the record with the company registry, and also help you out to maintain all the record with the Inland Revenue Department.
Sounds good. And then maybe addresses. So you mentioned it before, but maybe just specifically, there's like correspondence address, there's secretary address, there's your office address, or maybe we go through the different ones, and sometimes they could use their own, but I think a lot of listeners are maybe not in Hong Kong. And
Okay. Actually, for a Hong Kong company, the mandatory requirement is you must have the registered office address in Hong Kong. And the government prefer you use the commercial address rather than using the residential address. And also, actually, I have from a lot of clients, they also prefer to use the commercial address, not mix up with your own family. Because as you know that for the Hong Kong company registration record is open to public. If you pay some money, then you can check all the record. So someone do the business with you, if they would like to look for you, if you use your residential address, then they may go to your home, not look for your family, which may not be so convenient. So we always recommend the client to use the commercial registered office address for the business registration. So beside the registered office address, there for a lot of corporate service firm in Hong Kong, like us Bridges, we also provide the virtual office correspondent address. So you can use this Hong Kong address as your daily business correspondent use on your name card, on your website. So we will help you to receive all the letter and inform you, even though you are in US, UK, or any other country in the world, we can inform you on the same day. So this is the business correspondent address. So you can consider registered office address in the commercial place and also the virtual office address. But normally, we don't recommend you to use the home office address, which may not be very convenient. And also one thing good is, I find that most of the client is much better to have the company secretary and also the registered office address under one roof. So because a lot of clients travel all over the world. So once the government letter delivered to the registered office address, and your company secretary can help you to review all those documents and provide the advice to you. And just like our company, as a company secretary only deal with the company registry. Just like our company, we also have the tax team in here. So if there is any letter from the tax department, the Inland Revenue Department, we will also inform you and provide advice to you on how to manage on all those letters, so you will not miss those deadline or requirement. As the Hong Kong government, their deadline is always within 1 month. You need to reply them and get back to them. So yeah, I think upkeeping the company using the same company to help you out for the registered address, company secretary, and also help you out on the accounting and auditing will be a good choice for most of the people.
definitely. So the secretary can also help you with filing to the government and talking to the government.
Yeah, of course. For the company secretary, we will just like what we're talking about, if you want to add the shareholder, change the shareholding structure, then the company secretary will prepare all the relevant documents with the company registry and also prepare the bought and sold notes and also instrument of transfer, all those relevant documents for the new shareholder and the old shareholder to sign. And then we will bring those documents, go to the relevant government department to talk to them and deal with them, all these kind of things. And even if there is any letter sent here, just like for us, we also do non-profit organization, charity organization. Well, for this kind of company secretary, we always receive a lot of letters from the government to ask us why they are the non-profit organization, why they are the charity. They will have a lot of questions. So we, as the company secretary, we will help the client out to answer all those questions as well. Yeah, of course, they will check clearly to see whether you are really the charity organizations. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like everywhere in the world, governments are suspicious sometimes of nonprofit if they're really a charity or just looking for tax benefits. Okay, and so I think this is really, really helpful. And of course, I'd love for you to share with people how they could reach you and your business.
For us, we are the Bridges Executive Center in Hong Kong in central locations. I'm Fion. So if you find interest to know more regarding the company secretary, how to set up the company, how to upkeep the company, maintain the company, or even for the accounting and auditing arrangement, all these kind of things under one roof, yeah, feel free to in touch with us. You can send email to us. Our email is info@bridges, BRIDGES.HK, or you can visit our website with a lot of useful information in there. Our website is www.bridges, BRIDGES.HK. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thanks, Fion. And that's a wrap. So thank you so much, Fion, for coming on and sharing about that. I know people got a lot from that and hope that clears the air of what a company secretary can and cannot do for your Hong Kong company. Basically, the secretary can act on behalf of you for the company updates and annual return. But ultimately, it's on you as a director of the company and the owner of the company to make sure your company is in good standing with the government and paying the government costs and upkeep fees as a director. Okay, enough of that stuff. Let's do some more fun things. We did get a new 5-star review on iTunes. So I'll read it off. It's from Chris at Hypermate in Australia on the 15th of November, just a few days ago. And he says, a 5-star, hands down the best podcast on how to do business out of Hong Kong and China. And it's a long description here, so let me read it off and not blush too much. But Michael's podcast is chock full of great interviews with folks who either have set up their business in China or Hong Kong, or representatives from companies based in China, Hong Kong that can help you. Each episode provides awesome advice and clever tips from people who have already gone through the grind, made some mistakes, info that will help you navigate your way through the maze quickly and relatively stress-free. From setting up a company and bank account in Asia to international logistics and tons more besides, this is an absolute must-listen to podcast. 5 stars from me. Thank you so much, Chris, and really appreciate that. I also saw that you got the ticket for the event in Hong Kong today when this is airing, so I look forward to meeting you. Now, some more stories. As you guys know or might know, I've been really diving deep into this bank account issues in Hong Kong, and I've been helping some clients with it. I wrote an 8,000 word post about over 15 banks I visited myself in a couple of days. So we had one client, I won't disclose his name, but a foreigner, pretty successful and younger European entrepreneur that seems to not have figured out his signature yet. So we're in the bank together last week, and he was signing his name differently on each page that he had to sign. And the local Hong Kong banker was really kind of confused why he was not used to signing his name. So, we had a little bit of explanation, and, we're a lot of internet entrepreneurs, so it's not common to do a lot of paperwork and things. So I think we smooth things over, but I'm going to now include when I talk to clients to make sure that you know how to sign your name the same every time. Okay, everybody. So that's all I have for this week. And I'm getting lots and lots of interviews, so I think I'm going to have to do this show weekly again. Getting some new inspiration and excitement again. So I'm not going to put myself under a date yet, but we'll probably get back to weekly soon. So thanks again for listening, and have a great rest of your week. Take care.
To get more info about running an international business via Hong Kong, please visit our website at www.globalfromasia.com. That's www.globalfromasia.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our iTunes feed. Thanks for tuning in.